Hello, hello, lovely souls. It is June 28th, 2020, and it's Sonia here with Fresh Approach Fitness, a wellness company. Thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday evening in June. My goodness, can you believe it's the last Sunday in June? Where has the time gone? This is episode number 13, and it's all about routine and structure. For those that have been following along with my Facebook Lives on my personal page, I talked about this a little bit today. Just touched on the topic of routine and structure and what it looks like for the weekend or during the week. So I'm not here to tell you what you need to do. I'm not here to give you answers, and all I'm here to do is really link arms with you and help give you some support and some ideas how to guide you to find your own answers when it comes to routine and structure. It's really, really, really helpful to have a few things set in order to have some routine and structure in your life. I fought routine for so many years. I didn't think it was for me. But the more I leaned into it, the more I realized that there was so much I could personally gain. To be honest, we really need to get our stuff together before we begin. Some people go through their days feeling prepared. They feel in control. They have what they need ready to go. That way they're able to move forward with least resistance. They prioritize getting everything in its place before beginning. Are you one of those people? I can say most days I am now that type of person. On Sundays, I do spend time doing prep work and getting things ready for the work week. That includes laundry. Tony does the groceries. I clear out the fridge. We meal prep. We menu prep. We know what we're going to have. For the most part, anyways. We get everything set up and organized and tidied and ready to go for the work week ahead. And it sucks to do that on a Sunday. Sometimes I'll carry over what I can on a Monday morning before work starts, or I'll do some of it on a Saturday, but it's done. I must admit, we're sitting here right now at 8 o'clock at night, and the clothes are already in the bathroom or sorted out in the bedroom, ready to go for tomorrow morning. I don't have to think twice about if I'm going to work out tomorrow morning. My clothes are already laid out so I can work out tomorrow morning. There's a huge, huge benefit in having everything in its place before you start. Do you have everything ready to go? Do you have everything in its place? When you think about things like pen and paper, do you know where it is when you need them? Or are you always searching because you can't find them because they're not in their place or you don't have a spot for them? I have to share that having everything in its place helps you in so many ways. Without it, you will be slower and more distracted. Distracted means you're not focused. Being focused means you get easily frustrated, or being not focused means you get easily frustrated. So there's a huge advantage to having everything in its place, having a home for everything. And you can make that part of your culture at home, your culture at work. Your pens and paper and pencil crayons and highlighters can be organized where it's part of the decor. I actually have a little nook near where I sit on the couch, and it has coloring books, magazines, pencil crayons, glasses, and the book that I'm reading at the time, stacked up neatly along with some pillows and some blankets to make it a very cozy area. But it works. It works for me. It helps me relax. And that's what happens when you have everything in one place. When you are prepared and focused and organized. And that's one of the benefits of having structure and routine. The day begins the night before. So think about, this is Sunday, right? So think about what you would need in order to be successful tomorrow. What would contribute to a great, easy day where you are thinking 2 steps ahead and you have everything in order? What would that mean to you? What would that look like? For me, that would know what I'm having for breakfast. That would know that that would mean that I'm working out first thing in the morning, that I have a water bottle ready to go. So my clothes are already laid out. I shared that. I can easily put a water bottle in the fridge so I can just grab it and bring it downstairs for my workout. That won't be much. I already know what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow. I already know that I'm having a salad of sorts for lunch tomorrow. My morning snack, I already know what that looks like. And dinner for tomorrow, I'm going to take something out of the freezer and have it thawed so it won't take as long for me to prepare tomorrow. That is one way of thinking ahead. So if you're working and you have a commute, these are some of the things you can think about on your commute on the way to work. But I would challenge you to think beyond that. Start thinking today of what tomorrow might look like in order to put some healthy habits into place. So what this means to me is before I go to bed each night, I do make sure my house is clean and tidy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but everything in its order as much as possible. I do clean once a week, but it could take hours to clean up regularly. So this way here I keep it tidy so it doesn't take nearly as long. And really putting everything in order doesn't take much more than a couple of minutes. I have a plan for the following day. So tomorrow I know exactly what I'm doing, who I'm connecting with. I don't necessarily know what it's about, but I don't need to know what it's about because I know that I'm here in front of my computer or on my phone and I know the structure of my day. I have bookends to my day. I know when I'm getting up. I know when I'll be sitting down at night. And we're going to talk about bookends a little bit later on in the podcast. But I know what happens first, and I know what my personal schedule looks like before my business schedule comes into play. And this is extremely important for anybody that is blending a personal life with a professional life all under one roof. And so many of us are doing this right now. Still, we're not managing teaching kids education because school's done for the most part. But many of us are still juggling work, whether it's in the home or out of the home, and our personal life. And that's not going to change. It might look different, but it's not going to change. So in order to focus and do your best, think about what you can do today to help prepare for tomorrow. It takes 5 minutes for me to brush my teeth, brush my hair, get everything ready for me to go to bed at night. And yes, occasionally I doze off on the couch, but I am ready to go straight to bed after that happens because I already have everything done and taken care of. So all of that is ready to go even before we sit down and do our nighttime ritual. We sit down every single night and have a date night around 9:30. We watch one show together. You've heard me say this before. It is typically the highlight of my day because it's our time together. And this is how we end our day. So for me, this is the last step before the bookend begins. So the bookend of my evening is normally at 10:30 at night, every night. Almost every night, including the weekends. But from about 9:30 to 10:30, we sit down together and watch a show. Sometimes just a break, go to the washroom, whatever. So sometimes it could be up to 10:30, or maybe I read for a few minutes in bed. But typically that is the very last thing I do before I go off to bed at night. So that is part of my nighttime routine. Having a solid nighttime routine is going to help prepare me for the next day. So do you have a solid nighttime routine? Think about it for a second. Do you have a solid morning routine? Do you have bookends to your day? What I mean by that is, do you start your day at the same time every day, relatively, if not exactly? And do you end your day at the same time every night? Even before you start, you need bookends first. But then the next step, I was going to say, even before you worry about bookends, you have a start time to your workday and an end time to your workday, which means you have a start time to your family day and an end time to your family day. Or do you? Where does your personal time fit into all of this? When do you take care of yourself? When do you prepare for the next day? And just pause and reflect that compared to the days that you have everything in place, how smooth are the days that you don't have everything in place? So think about this. When you're preparing a recipe and you quickly check to see if you have all of the ingredients that you need to make the dish that you want to make, do you do that first? Do you check to make sure that you have everything that you need? Or do you have to start making something, or do you start making something and then decide that you need to go to the store and pick up this, and that, and then circle back and finish making what you were making? It sucks, doesn't it? It's a major distraction. It takes twice as long to make what you were going to make when you're not prepared. The same holds true with your day-to-day life. So structure and routine is so very important. And call it what you will. Call it bookends. Call it focus points. Call it whatever makes you feel good. But you really want a start to your day, an end to your day. A start to your business day, an end to your business day. Because those pauses or those check-in points are a way to pivot as to what's next and help you relax and at the same time anticipate what's coming up. I love my 4 o'clock break. Most days I'm off between 4 and 7. I take family time for 3 hours. I have the opportunity to cook whatever I want for dinner, take my time. I don't have to rush through it. I'm off for 3 hours, and then I circle back to work for at most 2 hours at night. Sometimes it's an hour and a half, and if it's an earlier night, I will take an earlier night. I will enjoy more things. But during those 3 hours between 4 and 7, most nights of the week, not the weekends, because my weekends do look slightly different than my weekdays, and that is okay. I keep it simple. I do the same things, but I stretch them out on the weekends. Nothing's wrong with that. Your weekends can very much look very similar to your weekdays, but you're doing more of what you love at more of a relaxed pace, and that is absolutely perfect. So as we're heading into a new week, I would love to challenge you to get to your day before your day gets the better of you. Get your week together. Take a few minutes now and plan and prepare what you need to do to be 2 steps ahead for your week. Every Sunday night I do this. I make sure that I have what we need set together for the week, that our vegetables are chopped, or dry. I call them dry vegetables. Carrots, celery, snow peas, green onions, radishes. Typically those are the dry vegetables. Sometimes it's cauliflower and broccoli that I chop up and I mix together into a bowl with a lid and set it aside. And as we're making salads for the week, we just put a handful or a scoopful of those vegetables in. They're ready to go. Sundays, we always make hard-boiled eggs for the week, exactly the quantity that we need. And what else do we prepare? We also get our frozen fruit ready, and sometimes I will make a quinoa salad, or just get the quinoa ready so I can make a salad, or I will make overnight oats so they're ready as well. Those are pretty much my staples that I make regularly for Sundays. It doesn't take that long at all. Occasionally I will cook chicken breast so we have it ready for lunches as well for the salad. But that means my salad on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day takes 3 minutes at most to assemble. That's less time than putting a frozen entree in the microwave, which isn't as healthy. I'm getting the vitamins and nutrients that I need. I'm adding a little bit of protein. Definitely a mix of healthy fats, especially if I'm adding any seeds or nuts or avocado to it. I am filling up and it tastes delicious within minutes, because of the prep work that I've done on Sunday. I also take a look at my calendar for the week ahead and make sure I have the clothes washed that I need, and since my laundry's done, that's prepared. I remember years ago when I was in corporate, I would actually iron and arrange 5 outfits for the week on Sundays. I would do this every Sunday, and it wouldn't matter which outfit I wore during the day, like if I wore a certain outfit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, but I would have 5 outfits ironed and ready to go, and my biggest decision that morning was to pick one of those outfits. That always worked for me. That saved me so much time in the morning. It was all ready, grab and go, put it on and go. What do? What are some of your traits and habits that you do to help prepare for the work week ahead? I just finished reading a book, a really good book, actually, tonight. It's called Get Out of Your Own Way by Dave Hollis. It's phenomenal. And I now have a new book that I'm going to be starting to read tonight. And that book's going to be sitting by the bed So I can take 5 to 15 minutes tonight before bed to read it. It's already ready. It's already there. Just a few pleasures that I'm going to have lined up. I know in the morning, some of my routine is going to include journaling. And part of that is how can I make today amazing is what I'm going to be writing about. I also drink a glass of water in the morning before any kind of caffeinated beverage. I pause when I drink the water. I normally drink the water as I'm sitting there and waking up in the morning. And that's just to fuel my body with what it needs the most. I do meditate, but more so in a different way. I sit outside in nature for a few minutes and just enjoy the surroundings. By getting outside, the sun, the exposure just helps me feel fantastic. And then I'm ready to dive into work. But when I dive into work, I think about doing what's most important first. And when I do that, I think about what could make this even easier. How about you? What can you do? What can you do this week to have everything in its place, to have everything ready for you? You still have time tonight. It's only 8 o'clock at night. Well, it's a little bit later than that now, but like 8:10 perhaps. And what can you do tonight to help make tomorrow that much better? What does your evening routine look like? Do you have one? Do you have a bath? Do you have a tea? What rituals do you put into place regularly to unwind for the evening so you can go to sleep sooner, so you can be more prepared and more fresh for the day ahead? By being more prepared and more ready for the day ahead, you become more efficient. When you're more efficient, you're a lot less scattered. When you're less scattered, you are not running back and forth. You're more focused. And it looks different for everybody. You've all heard that it takes 20 minutes to snap back into what you were doing, right? So if you're on an email or if you're working on any kind of task and you get distracted, it takes at least 20 minutes to get back into the groove again. The same holds true for whatever task you're doing. Circle back for a few minutes and go back to think about what I said when I was baking once, and not that long ago. I think it was like 6 months ago. I was doing some baking in the late winter, and I remember having to run out and pick up some ingredients that I didn't have, and that's so not like me. I normally have everything prepared and ready to go when I know what I'm going to make, but it was an impromptu moment, and those happen. But I can guarantee now I have everything stocked in the house for when I want to bake next, and I'm going to bake something that I have, just to make it that much more effective, because otherwise it takes twice as long. So what do you think you can do today that would simplify your day tomorrow? What kind of discipline can you commit to? And for some people, that's as simple as tracking your habits. I've been tracking my habits now for the last week, a little bit more than a week, and I can identify at a quick glance which habits I look at, or which habits I do daily, and which habits I do weekly, and which habits I do 2 or 3 times a week. And that's all okay. As much as I think I want to do most of them regularly, this is regular for me. But you can come up with a habit tracker for tracking your budget, for reading, for affirmations, for preparing your meal for the next day, for bringing your lunch. I'm not saying this is going to be easy, but you're going to want some tools to help keep you on track. And a habit tracker or creative collections that I have put together, things like that are proof of what you're doing and what's working. You're tracking the habits to produce the results that you want. That's where you're going to find the success, is in your daily habits. Anytime you want to make any kind of change, it's going to be found in your daily habits. And I guarantee you, my friends, this process is going to free up your time, and it's going to free up your thoughts. The huge benefit to that is you're going to be more present with your family. You're going to be able to keep on track with your goals. So your goal right now might be adding routine and structure to your life, freeing up some time, becoming more focused, being less drained, which means having more energy, which is equivalent to being more present for your family. That might be your starting point, but you can apply the same technique to weight loss, to your finances, to your relationships, to your job, or your company that you own, if you're an entrepreneur, or your relationships, your friendships, as I mentioned, any of these different platforms, you can take the same theory and apply it. Come up with simple habits that you can do on a regular basis to make getting to that end task easier. Keep your focus on doing what you want to do, whether it's growing your business, being more efficient in your job, helping to eliminate the ebbs and flows and keeping everything more of an, when I mean everything, I mean your day-to-day and your energy more of an even keel instead of the ups and downs that comes with the peaks and valleys. And when you make fewer decisions because everything is habits, your willpower is less stressed. That means your willpower is available for when it matters the most, such as when you're trying to make a tough decision, or when you're trying to resist that brownie, or when you're really, really, really struggling to get out of bed and you don't want to work out. That's when your willpower is going to come into play if it's not a habit yet. Discipline and efficiency helps to keep me set up for success. Little things like no dishes in the sink, clothes laid out, meat thawed, having food ready to go in the fridge, like little snacks prepared, because otherwise it leads to chaos. And chaos is a major distraction to me. I'm not speaking for all of you, but chaos can be a distraction for me. I get lost in the cyclone, whatever you want to call it, the hurricane of chaos. I think we all do. You know, we want to catch our breath, but there seems to be more and more coming at us when we're in the midst of chaos, right? So let's eliminate whatever distractions we can by helping everything move more quickly and efficiently. And the best way we can do that is by coming up with habits. Small, incremental daily habits will form into structure and routine. So what does this mean for you? So for me, as I shared, this means having a bedtime routine. This means having a morning routine. And my bedtime routine and my morning routine, they don't change 90% of the time throughout the year. They don't change at all. They change if I'm away teaching at a retreat, but not actually, they don't vary all that much. I'm the first to go to sleep because my routine is my routine. And I'm normally up really early anyways. But 90% of my year in my life, my routine is identical. I'm in bed or going to bed about the same time every single night. I am up about the same time every morning. I do the same things when I wake up day after day after day. And I look forward to it because it's now part of my life. Those things in the morning, for me personally, include getting outdoors. Opening up the umbrella, saying good morning to my neighbors, hanging out with Hannah and Gizmo, having my water and journaling, doing my, setting my intentions for the day, looking at my affirmation cards, just listening to my surroundings before I even start work. Typically there's a morning workout in there, then I will come in or at some point, either my workout first, typically it's my workout first, then shower, then go outside and do all of those things. Then I will have a protein shake, and after that I will have a coffee or a tea around 9 o'clock in the morning, although I've been up at 6. 6 is normally the time where I start my day in most cases, like 99% of the time. And what this means is I can go through my day more quickly. I can be a lot more efficient. I have those moments to look forward to. I don't end my day differently ever either. So what I mean by that is, again, I'm always done work before 9 o'clock at night. I take a 3-hour break, so I'm not working from 9 to 9 or from 8 to 9 by any means, but no matter what, I am done by 9:15 every single night. I am prepared and ready for date night at 9:30, and we sit there and watch one show together and just enjoy that peace and that silence together. And that is the end of my night. That's what I look forward to. We normally have a tea then as well. And it's just the whole process of changing and washing my face and brushing my teeth and then making a tea and just being able to sit there and be like, the day is done. And we just get to be together and enjoy it together. So I don't know what it looks like for you, but knowing that I have bookends to my day, knowing that I have an evening routine and a morning routine, and knowing that I have habits throughout the day to help make my day a little bit easier, and so I am set up and prepared for whatever comes my way, certainly makes it a lot easier. It takes a lot of stress off, and the structure and the routine become familiar. You look forward to what's familiar. So a good day always starts the night before, even on the weekends when you've got time to prepare, or even on the night before, period, of whatever night it is. Get your stuff together before you begin. Prioritize one thing that you need to focus on for the next day. Prepare your action item list. I don't call it a to-do list. I call it an action item list. I try to have no more than 3 things on that list that I would really like to conquer that next day. And I just have it laid out. Think about what disciplines you can put into place to help you with your routine and structure. It can be a wonderful thing. It comes with freedom and flexibility, especially when you think about the bookends. And moments to look forward to, because that's what it boils down to for me, is moments to look forward to. I know that everything's in its place. I know that at 4 o'clock, I get a 3-hour break. I know that there's a nice dinner I get to make, whatever that might look like, if it's barbecue, or it doesn't matter if it's just Tony and I, or if we have the kids home. But I have everything prepared, which leaves little room for mistakes and oversights. So I'm going to ask you, as we're getting ready to finish this podcast, what would it look like for you to develop simple acts of discipline? And as easy as it sounds, we all know that habits take time. And I'm here to help you, right? I'm here to help link arms with you, help you come up with the habit tracker that works for you, and get some motivation and some momentum built to your day. Maybe attach a reward to your habit so you can see what you're doing and what you're working towards. But what can you do today to make your Monday morning that much better? A Monday morning with no rush, no hustle, no bustle, and with everything ready to go for the day. Wow, right? Now, can you imagine going to bed, getting a good night's sleep, feeling relaxed, maybe doing some yoga, and then having a day with no rush, no hustle and bustle? Ooh, makes you want to take a deep breath and just feel what that feels like and feel the energy in this shift. One of the things we can control within our day is how we feel. But normally we can only control how we feel when we're in the moment. If we're worried about the future, we're anxious. Anxiety does not help us enjoy the way we feel. We can't win the day when we're worried about the future. We can't win the day we're in if we're worried about something that's happened in the past. So by being prepared, by having bookends, by having routine and structure into your life, and by working on some healthy habits, this is going to help you win the day. So let's try to think about not focusing so much on your food choice, but get your head on right. Think about what it's like if your head is in the right place, your choices are not going to suffer. It's going to be so much easier to make the right choices if you're coming from the right perspective, if you're in the present. Let's be perfectly honest. You know that you know about nutrition. You know things about nutrition. You know things about fitness. It's your head that is interfering right now. It is the struggles that is going on. And if we can add some simple disciplines to your day-to-day, you're going to make those struggles disappear because everything else is going to fall into place. You're going to have the willpower, the strength, and the mindset to focus on the areas where you need it most because everything else has become habit. So there are some simple daily disciplines that you can put into place to help get your head on right, help with the mindset, and help you specifically focus with easy, healthy habits. And it's going to look different for everybody.
For some of you, it might be a matter of bringing a water bottle with you wherever you go, so you're drinking the water and you're not falling into temptation. For some of you, it might be journaling your thoughts more often. And for others, it might be coming up with an action plan of writing down, drink water, journal, be thankful, have gratitude, plan my meals. It's going to look different for everybody. But an example I like to use, and I think some of you have heard me say this before because I'm sure I've mentioned it, but I could personal train with somebody 3 days a week. I could have a client come in to see me 3 days a week, and they could be going home and emotionally eating because they are financially stressed, or they're stressed about work, or they're stressed about their kids, or they're stressed because they have too much on their plate, or perhaps they're stressed about their relationship, or it doesn't matter what they're stressed about, but that stress component is putting so much weight on them that they're not balanced. They're not in control. So what we're talking about today is working on the stress and the mindset. And some simple ways to get some of that into perspective are habits like meditation, gratitude, routine, healthy habits, motivation, coaching, accountability, bookends to your day, night habit, like bedtime routine, a morning routine, having things to look forward to. And believe me, my friends, I don't have all of your answers. I am myself. I'm a work in progress. But I am learning and growing every single day. And I want the same for you. I believe in your ability to create change in your life, even if you don't believe it yet in yourself. I am here to be your cheerleader. I am here to guide you and to motivate you as you take the next steps in the right direction to make your life that much easier and that much happier. I will continue to believe in you until you are ready to believe in yourself. I will hold your hand and walk beside you on your journey because I know it's possible. I've seen the transition in myself. I've seen the transition in many of my clients. I've seen it in a lot of mentors. Having structure and routine lead to healthy habits. Healthy habits lead to less stress. Less stress leads to being present in the moment and making those moments memorable because you're present and you're able to enjoy it. I know it's possible. I've been there. And there is huge hope and opportunity for every single one of you to get there. I will help you get there. You can go wherever you want to go in terms of how far you want to take your routines and structures. The key is to start somewhere. Believe me, you might have days where you are awesome and you are on and everything is fluid and nothing goes wrong. Everything lines up and goes your way. When you have days like that, you want to write them down. You want to be grateful. You want to appreciate them because I guarantee there are going to be days and moments that don't feel like that. So if you're tracking your habits, if you're understanding what works and what doesn't work for you, where things have fallen into place naturally, where some areas need attention, those are going to be great insights for the days that you need a little bit more help. You know, the days where things are crazy. Life gets crazy sometimes. And if you can't think of a reason or what I mean by life gets crazy, divorce is crazy. Separation is crazy. Moving can be crazy. COVID, going through COVID-19, losing your job, closing down a dream, all of that could be crazy. Having to pause, pivot, reflect. Having a birth of a child can seem crazy because such an influx of change. When we're in a moment of crazy or where there's so much different happening at once, you're really going to lean into those habits for routine and structure to help keep your day as ordinary and as comfortable as possible. And I'm not saying comfortable in a bad way. Because on the crazy days, life isn't as fluid as you would like it to be. So that's where having those habits in place really make a big difference. And there is so much more waiting for you. There's so many different areas of improvement that you can work on. So as I get ready to chime off, I want to say, think about what areas you can add structure and routine to your life. You know, you can reach me at asksonia.ca and find ways this week to awaken your magic. I would love to hear what's working for you, how you're going to inspire yourself, how you're going to remind yourself not to be distracted, that things that have nothing to do with your goals. My suggestion, tackle one area at a time. Start with bookends, or perhaps a nighttime routine, or a morning routine, or by packing your lunch. But start with one area at a time. Start with a small task. That's second step. And the third step is rearrange some small things to make them become habits. Know that you are strong and that you've got this and you're not by yourself. You have inspiration, accountability, and motivation right here with me, your host, Sonia, with Fresh Approach Fitness, a wellness company, and I am here to guide you and motivate you and help you every step of the way. So until next week, my friends, have yourself a fantastic week and let me know how I can support you on your journey towards structure and routine.